What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 57 of Thinktwice, the magic and pop culture show hosted by me, Justin Parnell, and my co-host, Ali Aintrazi.
Aintrazi.
Are you saying your own name?
I was being an echo.
That's a really slow echo. Must be in a really long tunnel.
The longest of tunnels. So, Justin, what did you do last weekend? Don't tell me. You caught all the EVs.
Dude, I caught so many EVs. You know, guess how many shiny EVs I caught?
How many?
You won't even believe.
10.
20.
Holy crap.
I legit caught 20. I'm not even joking.
All right. Are you going to share the wealth?
I mean, I got some. You know, if you're trying to get one of these shiny EVs. So if anyone out there needs some shiny EVs, I'm your man. I'm your shiny EV man. I need a shiny Dratini. Okay? Because I was real sick for that community day. I need that shiny Dratini. I need a shiny Marie also. I don't have any.
Well, I unfortunately was not playing Pokemon Go.
No,
I was in Florida.
You were playing Grand Prix Tournament Magic.
Yes, I played Grand Prix Tournament Magic. Played Standard. I played the Fog deck from the Pro Tour, thinking that people would slowly or would not adapt fast enough to it, and I was wrong. I still day 2'd. I day 2'd at 611 record. It was pretty good, but
They read your article.
Yeah, I know, right?
You played yourself.
I know. Going into day 2, I was like, I made the wrong choice. Like, even though my record was pretty good, it was like 611. I just knew that like this deck was not good. So many people were like alpha striking me with all their creatures every turn because they knew the list that didn't play Stellar Wreckage or anything.
Yeah. And
then people playing insult to injury. I was like, man, if I just played my version of the Spent deck with Fumigate's main deck and Settle's main deck, I could just write the board
you'd be really getting people.
Yeah, and then have people strained with insult injury in their hand with no creatures in play.
And that card is completely terrible.
Yeah. So yeah, I played. So yeah, like I feel like I should have played my version of Nexus deck, just like more rampy with like Our Promise. But I thought like maybe the pros were on something that I wasn't. Maybe and like maybe they had like 5 days or 6 days wasn't enough time to adapt. No, but it was
as usual. Wrong. You should have trusted yourself, and instead you trusted others.
I know,
and you paid dearly for it.
Yeah, I should definitely listen to my I should listen to my heart.
Now, what was your record at the end of the day?
I won 2, then lost 3, and then I didn't play the last one.
Okay, so you were X and 5.
Yeah.
Well, X 4 and 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you needed to be X and 4 to cash, which is
pretty insane.
Yeah. Oh man, that's such a long tournament just to like. Yeah,
got a pro point.
Well, hey, congratulations.
I'm
sure that kept you warm at night on Sunday.
I mean, it might buy me like ice cream. No, it won't buy me ice cream.
It doesn't even get you ice cream.
No, it doesn't get you anything.
It doesn't get you anything. You know what it gets you? It removes you from getting Rookie of the Year. Although you can't get it because you had to have no pro points before the year started.
Yeah, I already have some.
Yeah, you got some. You got some in your back pocket from 8 years ago.
Like basically.
Or you say no, it's only like 6 years ago.
It was like 5 to 8 years ago.
When's the last time you got a pro point before this weekend?
Forever ago, like maybe 6-7 years ago.
That's what I just said. It was like just like 6 years ago.
Well, I mean, I've been doing like SCG stuff because.
Oh, excuse me, big man. Didn't mean to ruffle your feathers here.
Oh no! It's not being ruffled. I'm just saying like the EV, like the value of playing opens is much better than GPs. First of all, if you day 2 and open, like you're almost guaranteed money. The entry fee isn't nearly as high. It's more organized. You can actually get cards you need for the event. It's run better.
Yeah.
It's overall just like I'm not like I don't even work for Star City, but I'm just saying all these things.
I know. If I say it, I'm like I'm biased, but if you say it, it's just true. I mean, I have a real high EV.
I couldn't find Bounty Deluxa for a standard event in any vendor. They're like 10. Nobody had it, so I couldn't play it.
Well,
and I thought it was gonna be great because, like, turn 4 Bounty, turn 5 I get mana. Even if I miss a land, it's 7 mana. It's enough to empty the stupid Nexus of Fate in my hand that's gonna rot. And the next turn I get to draw 2 cards. Like, it just seemed like a nice way to like abuse the fog aspect while also being able to cast Nexus of Fate early, and then basically next turn replacing it by drawing 2 cards. But that didn't happen because nobody had Bounty Luxa or Manglehorns.
How you gotta not have Manglehorn? That's
dude. They had no commons and uncommons, and only like the select rares. Nobody had commons and uncommons. It was like everybody was buying. That's basically it.
Yeah, well, that's why they were there. They weren't there to sell you stuff. They were there to buy your stuff.
Yeah, it was terrible.
That's like the old days. That's like old GP days, when like all the vendors just brought things they wanted to get rid of, not things that people wanted, but things they wanted to get rid of, and just there to buy cards. Glad to see Florida hasn't changed.
Yeah, it's apparently still in the Stone Age of GPs.
So you had low EV, I had high last weekend.
Yeah, you had shiny.
Yeah,
shiny and high EVs.
Exactly. So speaking of Nexus of Fate, our question of the week last week was, during its time in Standard, what is the maximum retail market price that Nexus of Fate will be? We set the line at $49.50. Ollie, you took the over, I took the under. The poll results went in my favor. 50% of people said under, 37% of people said over. Just to update everybody, the current market price is a little over $24. It was a little over $31 when we recorded last week. So
yep. So it's probably staying under, way under.
Yep. And it's crazy because the people that felt like it, I didn't have a single person when I tweeted that out respond to me and be like, yeah, under seems reasonable. Everyone that responded to it was like, oh, it's definitely going to be over. It's going to be way over. You're wrong. You're stupid. You don't know anything. I was like, okay.
They weren't that aggressive. But
One person was literally like, I was like trying to be really reasonable, and he just kept like disagreeing with me. And then I was like, okay, well, you didn't listen to the podcast where we actually broke down this. And then I linked him to like the tool that we were using, like the TCG market price, and it was already at $25, and he just never responded. Because it's the internet, so you don't have to do that. You can just be wrong and be mad about it, and then when you're proven right, you just go away.
Yeah, it just sucks that the people that get attention are usually the loudest, most negative.
Yeah, people. Yeah, that's the internet. That's social media. That's the day and age that we live in.
Yeah, and like the people that are right tend to, or not right, or like
it doesn't matter if you're right. It just matters if you're loud.
If you're loud, yeah, loud and obnoxious.
Yep.
And or obnoxious, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So now, speaking of being loud and obnoxious, I don't want to be obnoxious, but I do want to be loud because we have a lot of really great Patreon announcements for this week. And I want to tell everyone at the end of the show, but I want to tell everyone now too, because this is something that you and I and Director Choi have been kicking around for a little while, and we're finally ready to put our plan into motion.
All right.
So
let's do it.
All right, I'm going to try to run through this quickly. These are all positive changes, and everyone should listen, because if you are listening, chances are this affects you. And you're like, well, I don't support Patreon right now, or I don't do it very much. Well, that might change. The first big change is that we are going to be moving the ability to get tokens, the special edition, exclusive Ali Aintrazi and Justin Parnell Thinktwice tokens. We're going to be moving that to the $1 tier. If you support at the $1 tier 4 times total, you'll get a one-time shipment of a pair of Justin Parnell and Ali Aintrazi tokens.
So wait, you're saying now I get access to Discord channel?
Yes.
For animal lovers.
Yes.
And I get tokens all for $1?
All for $1. And you get early access to the show on Friday.
Wow.
So this.
So there's 3 things. There's more.
Well, no, that's just the one thing. That's just one thing that we're changing.
All for $1.
Just for one. And one of the reasons that we're changing this is we want to get people want those tokens, and we want to be able to give them to you, but we're not able to send. Realistically, I can't send out like 60 sets of tokens every single month. Like it's just it's just too much. So one time, as long as you support that 4 times, it's just $4.
But Justin,
which essentially is just paying for me shipping them to you.
But Justin, what if I was already supporting the higher tier to get tokens, and now you're moving it to the $1 tier?
I'm going to get to that, but I wanted to finish why we're changing this. We want to be able to give tokens to you if you see us at events and sign them for you. And currently, with the way that it was set up now, we weren't able to do that because we wanted to keep those exclusive. Now we're opening those up and making those more accessible. So if you see Ali at an event, he will have a shapeshifter token on him, and he will happily give you one. If you see me in an event, I'll happily give you a demon token. I might even give you an Ali token if you ask nicely.
No, you can't do that. You can't give my tokens away.
They got to ask really nicely.
Really nicely.
They got to flirt with me. I'll be honest. So now you can ask your question. Now you can ask your lead-in question.
Okay. So Parnell, I've been supporting the show at a higher tier, paying more than $1 a month, paying almost, and now you need $1 a month. So
what's the deal? What's the deal? Well,
yeah.
Not only are you going to be getting something way sweeter, but we're going to be making sure that people that are supporting retroactively for this past month are going to get this too. So if you've supported at the Course of Crucifix, which is the $15 tier level, in the last month, we are going to be getting in probably around the time that this podcast airs, or maybe a little bit after. We have gotten foil Justin and Ali tokens.
So they're shinies.
They're shiny and they look super sweet.
What's the EV on those?
They're real high.
Okay.
Higher than those EVs that I was getting.
Nice.
You dig?
Nice.
So these are tokens that will always, we promise, will always be Patreon exclusive. You'll not be able to get them any other way, and it will always be at this reward level. This will be the only way to get them. There's not ever going to be a time where they're going to be given out. We don't have a lot of them because they're not cheap. So they're significantly more expensive than the non-foil tokens, but they look really awesome. We want to do something special. And for those, if you are getting one of those mailed to you, and this is something that we can do every month. It's not just a one-time thing. So if you continue to support that level, you can continue to get pairs of these tokens. If you want us to alter them or sign them, even though it might take a little bit longer for you to receive them from us, we'll absolutely be able to do that for you, where that's not something we were previously doing. So you'll be getting foil tokens, and if you're interested in getting a set of foil tokens, all you need to do is just support one time a month at that level to receive those foil tokens. Once they get in, we will post pictures of them so you guys can see them. They're super awesome.
Nice.
And then we have one more adjustment, which is also just a positive for all of the Patreon supporters out there. We currently have the Prophet of Crucifix tier, which is our $20 tier. Now, this tier currently says that we're going to be the people that are supporting at this tier, if they support 4 times, will be able to essentially give us a deck list, and we will play it in a quick X gauntlet on MTG Arena and stream it live on Twitch and upload it on YouTube. It can be either Ollie or myself. So we're changing this in a couple of ways. One, we're moving down the number of times that you need to support at this level to have a deck played from 4 down to 2. So we're literally cutting it in half. So if you support at this level 2 times, basically for 2 episodes worth, then you can give us a deck list. We'll run it through. Ollie's going to be specializing more in standard constructed. I'm going to be specializing more in singleton constructed, for obvious reasons for both of us.
Yes.
So,
and
go ahead.
I'm actually going to change it instead of being quick constructed to competitive constructed, which is basically
while it lasts, because they're removing that for now.
Okay, while it lasts.
Yeah, which is it's going away on the 23rd, which is a week from now, so probably not going to happen, unfortunately.
Okay, all right. I'm sure that they'll bring.
Yeah, they're just pulling it out of rotation to try different stuff.
Yeah.
But if it's basically, if you're supporting this level, you can communicate with whichever one of us you want us to play the deck, and then through that communication, we can figure out specifically what event we're going to be doing. We're not going to be, as it turns out, my schedule simply does not allow me to stream as consistently as I wanted. So instead of streaming, we're going to start, specifically me, is going to start posting pre-recorded content on our youtube.com/thinktwicemtg channel. So this is going to be quick singleton. In fact, one has gone up this week. By the time you are listening to this, there is one that probably went up on Thursday, which is either a day or two ago, depending on when you're listening. And that's going to at least continue once a week, and maybe even twice a week, depending on how, on the support that this level gets. And that's where you're going to see the deck list that you guys are wanting us to play. That's where you're going to see those played. We'll be sure to give you a shout out, say this is a deck list from, so-and-so for our Pravda Krufix Patreon supporter. And then we'll play the deck. We'll give our feedback on the deck afterwards or during, and then we'll go from there. And that's something that you will be able to see us do on a regular basis. Depending on how much that tier is supported is how frequently we'll be able to do it. So we're really excited to get the ball rolling on that, and you will start seeing those videos come out already. Like I said, there's already one out, and they'll continue on over the following weeks. So 3 different changes, 3 different tiers, $1 tiers changing to get tokens, $15 tiers now getting foil tokens, and $20 tiers going down from 4 times of support to 2 times of support. So all positive things for all of our supporters. So this is the time we want to thank you, all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much. We also have a new supporter, Jeff M. Jeff, thank you very much for your support. You came in at a great time.
Perfect. So these are all things, obviously, we're both all excited about. But again, also want to thank people that have been supporting. So new supporters and continued support. So thank you for that.
Thank you guys. And of course, if you are not able to support via Patreon, feel free to leave us a review. SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play Music. If you have the opportunity to leave us either a 5-star review if you're enjoying the show on any of those platforms that allow you to do so, or just a quick review of the podcast. Say, I really like when they talk about movies that Ollie hates because he sometimes has terrible taste in movies, or when Justin complains about cards being banned in all of his favorite formats. Those are great things to say, and we would appreciate you taking your time to leave a review. If you're listening on a platform and you wish you could be listening on a different one, like if you want to listen on Spotify and we're not on Spotify, make sure to let us know so we can attempt to get on that platform as well. Any way to let us know is always appreciated. Go ahead.
Also, I had Mark come up to me and say hi and say listen to the podcast. He said he liked it a lot. This was Mike, or it's not Mike. Mark tried to hand me a fairy for the podcast. I never accepted anything like that before, so I didn't know how to react. But I didn't take it. But I just want to say thank you for listening to the podcast, and that made my day. People coming from all the way from GP Orlando came and just saying, "Hey, listen to the podcast. Thank you for making it, and I enjoy it."
That's awesome.
He also said he's listened to both podcasts that I've done. I've used to do Freshly Brewed a long time ago, and this one, and he likes Thinktwice more. So that was cool. So
it's better. It's better. It is. That's why we're here right now. That's why you're listening to us in your earballs.
Oh,
Mark, thank you very much for your support. The best thing you could do is share with all of your friends and tell them
that's what I said.
The best podcast on the internet is Thinktwice. Period.
And give us reviews. I was like, just give us reviews and spread the word. That's more than enough.
Best thing you can do.
Yeah.
Best thing.
So thank you.
Okay, we've had a very long intro, so I think it's time to get to our first segment. We're very excited to talk about this. We had a very interesting question come up from Wizards of the Coast. They asked in a survey, what would you think if we made a set that was modern legal but not standard legal? We will answer that question after a quick break. Be back in just a moment. So some of you may not be aware, but shortly after every set comes out, about a month afterwards, Wizards of the Coast puts out a public survey. You don't have to put your name in, but you just put in some information, how long you've been playing Magic, how old you are, and they ask you some questions about the state of Magic, about the most recent set, general things they use for market research. And there was a very interesting question. And the question was, how would you feel if there was a set that was made that contained modern legal cards that were not standard legal cards, new cards?
So I imagine modern/legacy legal.
Yeah, I would imagine legacy legal too, but they specified modern.
Modern.
And this is really interesting because we know that in Legacy and Vintage you have all of your conspiracy sets and your commander sets and Battle Bond and things like that. But they've, when we talked about when Battle Bond came out, or maybe it was Masters 25, sometime earlier this year, we're like, them just deciding these are legal in Legacy rather than modern, it's just arbitrary. Like, for no reason, they're basically just saying they're legal in this format, they're not legal in this format, and that's it. Just because we say so.
Because they do have the modern border too, so yeah.
They do. So yeah, it doesn't, some of the argument doesn't really make sense. And there's not really an argument, it's just this is kind of how it is because this is how it is for the sake of.
Yeah, I imagine maybe they want to push some cards that were probably too strong for modern, but probably fine for Legacy, but basically like just really good in Commander. Yeah.
So let's dive in. What would this set look like? Before we even get to like what cards in it, but like what do you think this set would look like? We know that Wizards really, when they make sets, they focus on limited, right? Like it's not that they are making it for limited.
It has to be draftable.
It has to be draftable. Yeah. This is something they want to previously before Masters 25. This is the first time where they haven't had a Grand Prix associated with like a Master set release. Now, they didn't have one for Iconic Masters, but they had it at HasCon, which is kind of accomplishes the same goal, right?
Yeah.
So it has to be draftable. So it has to be some cohesion for the set. It can't just be a random assortment of cards.
I think first things first is just revisiting a plane or somewhere we've been.
Yeah.
Just to have like some concept of the cards, essentially.
I totally
agree. Then from there, you obviously you have reprints and then new cards, but from there you can basically start building your draft portion of the set.
Yeah, I actually think that how they created the core set, when they just showed us glimpses of all of these different planes.
Yes.
And they really like put the, sometimes when you look at the cards, if you're a newer player that's only played for maybe a year or so, and you look at a card like Gearsmith Prodigy, and you this is clearly taking place on Kaladesh, and you're like, is this a Kaladesh card that they reprinted, or is this a new card? I really can't tell. And I think that's really the strategy that they should go for, as far as like setting up how the set feels, right?
Yes, I mean, even something like Modern Core Set 1. Not obviously don't say 1.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Modern Core Set 2 or 3, like basically just have it a core set but modern. I think it's completely fine. That way you can reprint cards that need to be reprinted because Magic and Modern are both always growing.
Yes.
And then in those sets you can reprint or you can print new cards. This way people are encouraged to buy these packs, which opens up these reprints like, let's say, I don't know, Aether Vial or what have you.
Aether Vial, Liliana of the Veil, Cavern of Souls,
Scape shit. I guess
Scape ship they just got, but yeah.
Yeah, Horizon Canopy. Yes,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there, you're also incentivized to open these packs to get the new cards, which helps these old cards get back into the market.
Circulation more, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Because now there's times like where there's a Modern Masters, whatever. I don't really want to buy this because it's like, I mean, the cards I need already in stock and print. Like I don't even need it. But like seeing new cards and then playing that in draft or just the anticipation of opening something new, is sweet. And I feel like that opened more boxes, especially if they throw in like a special buy box promo with those sets too.
Yeah, absolutely. And
it's also a place where Nexus of Fate could get reprinted too.
Yeah, absolutely. Like as a regular card, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really honestly, that's a really great point, because they know that strategy works. They know that because that's when they changed core sets, right? Like from 10th edition, and then the next year they made, or 2 years afterwards, they made Magic 2010, and they changed core sets because they put new cards into core sets, because they're like, you know what? People don't want to just open the same stuff they've been seeing for X years, right? They want to see something new and exciting. And that, honestly, there's been a few points in Magic where the game has changed. And I don't mean like the game that we're playing, but like I'm talking like from a conceptual standpoint, like how Wizards creates Magic, that it changes. And the release of Magic Core Set 2010 was one of those times, because it was like, this is a new strategy that we're trying. There are going to be brand new cards in a core set. We're changing some of the rules. We're going back to our fantasy roots. And we know that these things are successful because this is, I mean, we're in this age of Magic. Like that's honestly the age of Magic that we're in, is like since they made that change. And those core sets obviously were very successful. They took them away, but they weren't because the core sets didn't accomplish their goals. It was because it's like we're only making 4 sets. We want to try to get as many other things in as possible. We want to visit as many planes and do as many specific things as possible.
Yep.
And now, exactly what you said, just make a modern core set. Like it doesn't even matter that the name is hokey. You could figure something out for the name. The name is irrelevant. I'm telling you, if you have a Snapcaster Mage in a set, and you have some other new cards that are playable in Modern, this is the easiest selling set of all time.
It's super sweet too. I mean, Modern, Modern is the most loved format out of every format.
Yeah, by a lot at this time.
Maybe except for Commander. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's better than Commander, but
I believe that Commander is more popular. But Modern is certainly the most popular competitive format by leaps and bounds.
Easy. Yeah, easy. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So what specifically, like what reprints would you want to see in this set? Like what cards that are not Modern legal now, but you think you want to be Modern legal?
So not reprint. Well, I guess reprint.
Yeah, reprint, not new cards, but cards that are not Modern legal, that you're like, these cards could be Modern legal, but I don't want them to go through Standard because they'd warp Standard.
Okay. I think a really nice one, cool one would be Factor Fiction. I think Factor Fiction
is one of my all-time favorite cards.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have nostalgia from Factor Fiction.
Yeah,
it's a powerful card that actually engages your opponent and how to split cards up. It's very skill intensive, and it's not like overpowered. It's basically the blue Clay Company, but instead of putting cards into play, you get your hand. And if Jace is like, struggling now, I think Factor Fiction is completely fine. It's like, completely fine and would help. Like I'm playing
Glimmer of Genius.
Yeah. No, I would love to play Factor Fiction instead.
Yeah, I think it's one of those cards that's like, this doesn't make a splash on the metagame. Like it doesn't change anything, but it's just like a one or two of in decks that have that are like true control decks that have like Snapcaster Mage. Right?
Yeah, and
Factor Fiction's so great with Snapcaster Mage. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're literally, because it's not overpowered, because there's not I don't think in Modern there's ever a metagame you are able to play 4 of these. Like this is a 4 drop that has no effect on the board.
Yes, yeah, it's yeah.
But it's man, that's so sweet if you're like, all right, I flip over 5. Do you want to give me these 2 and put these 3 in my graveyard? What if I have Snapcaster and I Snapcaster one of these next turn, or Torrential Gearhulk one of these?
Yeah, I think I think this card's great. A lot of nostalgia factor, and just like the name is, it's just kind of cool.
It's an icon. To me, it's an iconic card.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Yeah,
I'm actually jealous that you thought of this one. I didn't think of it. So I'll give you. I think this is the. I think that of all the ones that I have, I feel like I have some good ones, but I think that's the best one. Like that's better than all of mine. So I have a blue card, and I think some people might think this is controversial, but I feel like you agree. I feel like we've talked about this one before.
Yeah.
And I think Counterspell, just straight up blue counter target spell. Counterspell is totally fine for Modern.
I 1000% agree. Mana Leak is barely playable.
Yeah.
Mana Leak's easier to cast, and Counterspell literally only goes into pure control decks. Like blue eye control, maybe discard control is like a 1 or 2 of. Like this card is not easy to splash.
No.
And there's a lot of ways to just a lot of ways to ignore this. Like aggressive decks ignore it. Cavern of Souls ignores it. Aether Vial ignores it.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's totally fine.
Yeah, I think it's a great tool without going into Force of Will territory that can give like control some ways to combat actual combo or Tron or something. Like Counterspell is just a nice answer.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. This is and the reason I think this spell is totally fine is you have to be playing blue is a really heavy commitment. Oftentimes in Modern, having 2 of the same color is actually harder to cast than 2 different colors. Just because the mana bases are so diverse, it's really easy to play 3 colors, and sometimes 3 color decks actually have better mana than 2 color decks. So if you're playing a 2 color deck, this is actually more difficult to cast on turn 2 on time anyway. Because if you're playing like a blue-white deck, you're going to have Celestial Colonnade in your deck, right? Unless you're going out of your way to have a lot of fetch lands and basics, this is actually pretty tough to cast on turn 2. The only time you're going to want to cast this in like an aggro deck or a tempo deck is when you're only playing islands, and even then, it's probably just worse than Mana Leak and Remand. So I just don't see the harm. I think this is just a tool that control decks should have, and we don't have a true control deck in Modern, and we haven't had one that's been good for a long period of time in a while. Jeskai was good for a little while, and it's
now we have blue white like Terminus Jace control.
Yeah,
and that's finally coming up. But that deck still needs help. I think
it totally does, and it needs help in the early game. I think this is the card to do it. Okay,
yeah,
your turn.
All right, next up, I think another card that'd be great in this format that's not legal is Toxic Deluge.
Oh, that's a great one.
It's basically a black board wipe. It's pretty easy to splash, but there's a huge drawback. Like you can't just play this and like keep paying like 3, 4, or 5 life. But it is good enough to slow down these decks that are just putting a ton of power in play by turn 1 or 2. Where Wrath of God or Supreme Verdict is too slow. Toxic Deluge might be fast enough so you can kill those hollowed ones or those Venge Vines that are being played turn 1 or turn 2. So you take a lot of damage. Like you definitely suffer for it, but at least you can maybe stabilize.
And it's a single black mana too, which is notable.
Exactly. Makes it very splashable, which I think is fine.
Yep, I do. Really I totally do too. And these are 2 good examples. Factor of Fiction is probably too good for standard, but not like overwhelmingly so. And I think Counterspell and Toxic Deluge are just plain too good to go through standard.
I think Counterspell is a tad too good. I don't think it's unheard of.
Honestly, I think it depends. Right now, it would be way too good because of Teferi. But in like all standard formats, it's not like it goes of sometimes it's way too good, sometimes it's regular too good.
I actually believe Mana Leak is stronger than Counterspell in standard. So
yeah, well, and that's because of the mana cost, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a black card for mine too, and this is one that I think this is a perfectly designed card. Like it's I don't know how this isn't in Modern, but Diabolic Edict. There's just no
very simple.
Yeah, there's no good instant speed edict effects. They all cost 3. Like this is just very simple. Just target player, sacrifice a creature, instant speed, 1 and a black. This card is totally fine. It does a lot of what you're talking about. Same as Counterspell. This is a good card to fight against the kind of the cheaty face decks, right? Like if somebody's trying to
Bogles, like Infect.
Exactly.
Basically the decks that aren't playing fair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, decks that aren't playing fair, or if you're trying to like a deck's like trying to cheat an Emrakul into play, or a Gristlebrand. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and this is just a tool because like this isn't going to be a generally main deck playable card. So, I mean, maybe you go really heavy on like Snapcaster Mage with this, but you probably need some other tools for that. But this is like really just like a sideboard card for fair decks that want to fight against unfair decks.
Yeah, and that's completely reasonable.
Yep. Okay, you're up.
All right. My third one is Containment Priest.
That's a great one too.
Yep, a great sideboard card. May see main deck play depending on the metagame, but it honestly maybe too slow against some decks, like against the Hollowed One, Vengevine decks. But at least it can stop them from coming back and recurring over and over again.
Yeah,
completely fair card that punishes unfair strategies, and this is what we need more in Modern.
Yep.
Just ways that to combat unfair strategies, and Containment Priest is an excellent way to do that. Stops like Clay Company. Just overall fantastic card that I think Modern would benefit from overall.
Yeah, Containment Priest is a great card. I obviously play a lot of Vintage and Legacy, and this is a specifically in Vintage. This is actually a staple in Vintage. It's a great card. It's such a good card. It's a 2/2 for 2 with Flash, which is not irrelevant because you can kind of get it in early and start attacking against those decks. And it does exactly what you're saying. Like, see, the crazy thing is, every card we've said like this is a good tool against X, Y, and Z deck that's trying to do something that's unfair.
Yeah, basically help the fair decks out. And I think honestly, I think this card's completely fine for Standard too.
Yeah, I think this is also fine for Standard.
Yeah, just a 2/2 with Flash that can stop Skycrape Scoundrel or Scarab God. Yeah, please, that's fine.
Well, it doesn't even stop Scarab God.
Oh, because this token.
It's a token, yeah. So this card is totally fine. It's like, it would be good in Standard, but it's certainly not too good.
No, I think it's good, and
yeah,
I think it's fine. Yeah. Like, it's not, yeah.
I totally agree. All right. I said one, you've said a bunch of cards I like, so I think it's my turn. I'm gonna go with Veteran Explorer.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah, I know this is an Ali favorite for Legacy. Veteran Explorer, for those of you who don't know, this is probably the least known card on our list for some people, or my list anyway. A 1/1 for 1 green, and it just says when Veteran Explorer dies, each player searches their libraries for 2 basic lands and puts them on the battlefield. This is just like a really niche card that I feel like just opens up different archetypes. This card is better in formats where people are having greedy mana bases and they have less basics. So you're really able to take advantage of the fact that you have more of them. And this is kind of a fair ramp card.
Yeah, I was going to say, this may seem unfair. This card is actually fair.
It's very fair. It's very fair, yeah.
Yeah.
It's only unfair if
your opponent's greedy.
Exactly, yeah. It's like, well, you could have had these basics too, but you didn't want, like, this card is, it's so great because the only time there's like not many decks that can punish you for playing this card, because the decks that have a lot of basics that can kill it are like exiling. They have like Path to Exile, right? So they're just like, okay, it's like, well, if you kill it, I'm going to get 1 basic. If you exile, I'm going to get 1 basic. If you kill it, you can't. Like, so I'm just going to get 2.
Also, losing to this ramp deck, losing to a Veteran Explorer ramp deck, I think feels much better than losing to Tron. So, like, this is a very fair ramp deck. It's not like going land, Carnu. It's going like...
Yeah, you're playing basics. It's just getting you basics out.
Yeah, it's fine.
And this is just like this wouldn't be a powerful card, but it's really just like a niche card that could maybe encourage some different archetypes to happen.
Yep.
All right, your turn.
All right, I'm going to say a multicolored one. Kess, Descendant Mage.
Oh, man. You got a great list. Your list is so good.
They're basically all of cards that I think are totally fair and are fun if you're playing fair. In case people don't know what Kess does, Kess is a Grixis, so blue, black, red, 1. So basically 4 mana. She's a 3/4. She has flying. And she says, during each of your turns, you may cast an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. If a card cast this way would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. It's a very powerful card that is completely fair.
Yeah. It's difficult to cast. Difficult to cast.
Yeah, it's super slow. It's difficult to cast. But the power is there if you're playing fair. It's kind of like a different Olivia type deal, but for Grixis instead of Jund, or like Bloodbraid Elf. It's like Bloodbraid Elf for Grixis. It's just.
I think Blood Rail is a good comparison.
Yeah, it's just it's a great card that isn't overpowered. That's obviously good in fair decks. Like you're not going to try to remember this early or anything, but it allows you to fight fair, and I think this would be great for Modern.
Yeah, I completely agree. I saved what I believe is the best one for last, and I actually think that this card would actually have a legitimate impact on Modern. Like this would change Modern a little bit, but I also think it's fun for Modern, and that's Baleful Strix. Baleful Strix is like always the most innocuous looking card. Yeah, I'm sure you guys are all familiar. It's a 1/1 for blue, black, flying, and death touch. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. It's also an artifact creature. This is just a great card for mid-range and control decks. It's particularly good when a bunch of Death Shadows are running around, because Death Shadow does not like Baleful Strix. It's not afraid of giant creatures, but it's terrified of this little artifact bird. So
it's like the ultimate most pushed fair card. I think.
Yes,
I think it's. Yeah. I think it's a fair card, but it's like
they put every single thing they put every single thing they could put on it to make it good. It's like, all right, well, flying, it's obvious because it's a bird, but it also has death touch. Okay, so it's a great blocker. All right, well, it also draws you cards. So it plays itself. Okay. And it's an artifact in case you want to use those synergies.
Yeah, like for graveyard strategies, but like or whatever.
Yeah.
But again, like this card is awful against the hyper aggressive matchups, or like combo decks.
Storm,
like it's like Storm.
It's awesome. Literally,
or Karn.
Yeah, it does nothing against those.
Or draw. Yeah, but actually fighting against Eldrazi,
it's actually very, very good against Eldrazi. As someone who's
decent,
as someone who plays this card in Legacy and Vintage, specifically in those matchups, it's phenomenal against them. Anyway,
yeah, it gives you a chance against Hollowed One.
Yep.
Or Vengevine decks.
Exactly.
Like, it's just fantastic, and also like this might even enable some crazy strategies that I like to play, like a Master Transmuter. Like Baleful Strix might be a reason to dive into that, because right now you can't really play Master Transmuter because it's too slow and you can't really do anything.
This is just a great card that gets you from turn. I mean, this sounds obvious, but this is a good card to get you from turn 2 to turn 3 in a lot of matchups.
Yeah. It also enables Delirium too. Or Delirium, I guess, is the mechanic I'm looking for.
Yeah, great. I like those lists. I like your list better because you led with Fact or Fiction. I couldn't recover, but I think that's good. I think that's a good 8 cards.
Dude, I love Fact or Fiction.
Yeah,
I played that. I think we both played that in Legacy for a little while when it was
I've cast Fact or Fiction multiple times
was legal.
Yeah, because you basically tried to skip your 1-drops to try to get bigger.
Yeah. It was a cool card. Yeah.
That was a dark time for Legacy.
I love that. I love that format.
I know, but like, I'm glad it didn't exist for long because, geez, that's just not it's not a healthy card. So I guess before we go, what other new card types like that you can envision that that would make its way into this format? A specific thing that I thought of just while I have this. You were talking earlier about like plane specific cards. I think a great card that they could have, like, where they were like, oh man, this is something that clearly fits on this plane that should have gone in this set. It's too powerful, like Smuggler's Copter. Because like that was that's like the one card that like immediately got banned. Everyone was like, yeah, that was obviously too good.
Yeah.
And this is just fun. And it's like that card is completely fine for Modern. It's seen some minor play, but not really heavy play, and it also should not have ever been in Standard. So this is just a perfect breeding ground for those. Go ahead. I cut you off.
I would say like there's a ton of mechanics that they can like revisit, like Delve. They could revisit Delve for Modern.
Cascade.
They could Cascade, yes. Even Phyrexian Mana, even though I don't recommend that, but you could.
Yeah.
Just be careful with it.
Well, you've learned you don't have to make a bunch of cards. You can make one card.
Yeah, or just don't allow it to be reduced to 0 or 1 mana. Like make it cost 2, then plus Phyrexian Mana. Like does it, like a fact fiction that cost blue 2 Phyrexian Mana or whatever. That's fine. Or maybe 3. But regardless, you know what I'm saying? Like,
or we actually, now that we've thought of it, I think we should just skip Phyrexian Mana.
Okay.
Probably just skip it. Let's just skip
Maybe
it.
Maybe you're right. Cascade, Delve is sweet, or Planeswalkers are also sweet.
Yeah, I would love to see the black-red Duretti. That'd be a great card in Modern. That'd be a super sweet card.
I think there's a lot of Planeswalkers now that I would love to see Modern play. Like Kaya, Ghost Assassin is sweet.
Yeah,
and all the new ones, and Amatu, and
Yeah.
Whatever her name is sweet one.
Yeah, just make them legal. Like, what's the worst that could happen? They see almost no play, and then every once in a while, someone has a sweet deck with one.
Oh man, yeah, dude, playing Animatu. What's her name?
Animatu. You had it right.
Yeah, okay, all right. Playing Animatu like an Esper Terminus like Miracle deck would be so sweet. Like, can you imagine?
Yeah, that's great. No, that'd be awesome. That'd be so awesome.
Yeah,
and it's like you can't do that. You can't do that in Legacy because the power level is just too high.
Yeah.
But
Modern, you can do it. Like, you can blink your wall of omens. You can draw a card and put the Mastery of Time or Terminus on top of your deck, or Entreat the Angels. Like, it's actually fine, you know. And I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I think it'd be great too. Well, right now this is a pipe dream, but it's a
possibility.
We know it's on their radar.
I think honestly, it's gonna be on the way. I think give it a couple, like maybe a year or so, but definitely on the way.
Yeah, I think it just makes too much sense.
Yep.
Wizards, feel free to take any of the cards that we just said and just shove them into that set. Also, ironically, so of the cards we just named, we named 8 cards between us. Toxic Deluge, Baleful Strix, Kess, and Containment Priest are all in either Commander or Plane Chase. Came from those sets.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's not just cards, not just older cards that just need to see the new light of day. It's cards you've already made recently with modern design philosophy. So, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it for this segment. So, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we return, the final episode in the Chronicle of Bolas, the Unwritten Now.
That's it. This is the last one.
Regale me the tale.
It is the Chronicle of Bolas, the Unwritten Now. So we're going to see the Unwritten.
Now.
I'm not sure if we have Ferocious or not, but are we Ferocious? Is that the mechanic on See the Unwritten?
Well, you get one either way, right?
Yeah, but
if we are Ferocious together, we probably have 4 power together, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Together?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good today.
I want to too. Yeah, I'll work out.
Yeah, I don't, but we're fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Great.
Okay, so pick up where Nivea has her knife pressed against Bay, and she's being basically manipulated by Bolas. Yasova comes in, she's like, "Yo, drop that knife! What you doing? You crazy?" But she immediately starts noticing that it's not really Nivea; she's being controlled by Bolas. But it comes out that Nivea resents her sister because she's jealous of her, mostly. Jealous of why she gets all these attention, and why she has to protect her instead of like vice versa. But she still loves her sister, but this is what Bolas has been playing on, and Yasova notices that. Yasova tells Nivea to go and see what Bay is seeing, like basically hold her hand, touch her, and then later explain to her. So Nivea goes and touches Bay's hand, and they start seeing visions again. They see Ugin hovering over the meditation plane or realm. He's basically just contemplating, and out of nowhere, Bolas shows up and just tries to kill Bolas right away because he's very upset. Like Bolas, they portrayed Bolas as a raging, jealous, self-centered planeswalker because Ugin didn't tell him about planeswalking or sparks or any of that. So Bolas thinks he was trying to keep that to himself. This is one of the things that overlaps with the other one, but anyways. So they fight across multiple planes, like over and over again. Ugin is basically trying to run away, and he says he's learned a lot of magic, defensive magic and like spelling magic, but not offensive magic. So he doesn't think he can actually fight Bolas. Eventually, they end up back in the meditation plane, where Ugin accepts his death. He's like, you know what? He thinks of Taiden's sayings or teachings, where just because you die doesn't mean like you're dead. Like you go elsewhere. You basically become like reborn into other things. So he dies. He basically like melts into the meditation pool, and he's reborn as the spirit dragon that we know of now. So Ugin was not born as a spirit dragon. He died as a dragon, and then like the waters of that area were able to revive him and make him like magical and spirity type deal. He claims himself as Ugin, protector of all planes, and he has to stop the people that would destroy planes or a threat to planes, which is Bolas. And he says there's other beings besides Bolas that he needs to protect the planes from. Bolas ends up going back to the meditation realm, and he rises, or he sculpts the horns and basically his horns that we see in the meditation plane now when we see it on like a commander set or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's basically what Bolas has sculpted onto that plane. And then, bubbles are popping. So this is it for that scene. Then we see Azor and Ugin talking, and Ugin is basically telling him how, hey, you're my friend, and we both need to defeat our common enemy against the multiverse, which is Bolas. We must stop him. And it explains how Ugin planned to lure Bolas to Tarkir, and then Azor is supposed to use the Mortal Sun to draw him to Ixalan and bind him there. But we know that doesn't happen. But anyways, so Ugin lures Bolas to Tarkir, and this is kind of a little upsetting because Bolas appears and he has the golden gem between his horns already. But it doesn't explain how. No. Anyways, I'll get that later. So as he's fighting, Ugin, since he birthed all the dragons after Tarkir, he's able to basically call them all to help him fight Bolas. But we know Bolas turns them against Ugin to kill him. And then Bolas slams Ugin to the ground and basically kills him again. First time was the meditation realm, and now he's killed him again on Tarkir. Now Nivea and Bay awaken, and Yasova is telling them that she wants to surrender herself to Bolas. She feels like this is the only way they can stop Bolas. Bay says, "Okay, I can help. I can deflect his magic. So I'm gonna act as Nivea, pretend I'm Nivea. He'll think I'm her because I'm her twin. I'll just wear your equipment, and he'll think I'm you." And while Yasova and Bay go outside and talk to Bolas, and the whole time Nivea is like struggling not to attack and kill her sister because Bolas is still able to cast his magic on her and make her like jealous, even though he's not necessarily targeting her. It's still in effect. Then they trick Bolas by saying Ugin is alive. He has a plan to stop you from planeswalking ever again. It's basically a bluff. They say like, oh, look at the light, here it comes, it's happening right now, and Bolas doesn't necessarily have time to kill them real quick and leave. He's too scared or nervous, so he just literally just flies in the air and takes off and like causes an avalanche as he's flying. That he hopes will kill them, but he can't risk any more time in case they are telling the truth. After Bolas leaves, Yasova and Bay appear dead. Nivea can't find them, but then she finds them behind a rock because Bay was able to deflect it with her shaman magic.
Hey, Maggie loves shaman magic.
Maggie's a fan of shaman magic,
no doubt.
Taijin, after that, like, they're walking home. Taijin says he has to go back to the Ojutai, not Ojutai clan, but his people and learn from them, which is the Just guy. And she's like, and you can tell Nivea's kind of sad because there's like a connection between Nivea and Taijin.
She wants that booty.
Yeah, and vice versa. And then Yusova's like, why don't you stay? Tell me your story again so I can carve it into basically the walls. So other people can learn not just from word of mouth, but from basically cave drawings. And he accepts that, and Nivea's like super excited, and so is he. And Bay teases them both on it. Then it basically just ends with that. And I like the very end because Yusova says the most important lesson we've learned. It's not like Bolas' story. It's not Ugin's story. But the most important thing we can take away from this entire thing is that even the greatest dragons can die. So even Bolas can die. Even Ugin can die.
Sounds like some foreshadowing to me.
Even the greatest dragons can die.
I love this story. I thought it was great.
Yeah, the entire story was good.
Yes, I do. I think the whole story was great. Like I do mean this one in particular, but I do. Yeah, I think all eight of them as a collection were fantastic.
Yeah, I do think I think it should be called the Chronicle of Ugin. Honestly,
it should. Yeah, the name was misleading because even after this story, we learn more about Ugin than we do about Bolas.
A lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
not learning about
I'm not upset about it. I just think the name, like you said, the name is misleading, but whatever. I'm not going to get too hung up on that.
Yeah. I do wish we learned more about the gem of becoming.
I know. He just like appears with it.
He just appears.
And he's got it. And Ugin notes that he has it. He's like, he has the gem like fastened fastened between his horns. Yeah. And it says it is able to see the things that he does not yet have. That he wants to attain.
Yeah, and it doesn't say how he got it or what else that says.
Yeah, so they just kind of leave it. They just kind of leave it at that. I'm gonna see if I can find. I want to see if I can find the exact passage, just because I really liked how they said it, how Ugin described it specifically. Let's see. Meditation round. I'm just gonna search for gem.
Yeah.
Okay. He's waiting. A flash of light heralded the arrival of Bolas, his curved horns now embellished with a gem floating between them like a third eye that only sees what he lacks, what he does not yet possess. So that's interesting. And I guess it makes sense, the gem of becoming, because it's like you haven't reached whatever you're trying to achieve yet.
Yeah, it's basically shows you what you will be. Basically, you will become. what you.
That's a pretty powerful tool for Bolas.
Yeah. It's almost like seeing the future in a way.
Exactly. And maybe not necessarily what does happen in the future, but what could happen.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
We don't know much about it, but yeah.
I mean, that is a one-line tidbit that does, I mean, I'm still interested. I was really hoping we were going to find out in this story, but, can't get everything you want.
I mean, I imagine if Bolas does die in Ravnica or loses, I'm sure the gem will be taken or given to somebody else.
I have no doubt that this is not the last we're going to hear of the gem coming.
Oh no, maybe Ugin takes it. Who knows?
Maybe we see Ugin and Bolas travel through a bunch of different worlds as they're going on their multiplanar chase. They note Zendikar, Ravnica, and a plane we've only heard I think once before that I know of, and that's Kefali. Are you familiar? Did that one stand out to you for any reason? Do you know that one?
Well, it just stood out to me as one that we haven't really been to.
Yeah, we have briefly. I only know it from one thing. This is the plane that Chandra stole the Dragon Scroll from.
Okay.
And that's where she learned the Ghost Fire, which actually started this whole thing. So we knew Ugin put the scroll there, the Dragon Scroll. Because he's the one that created the Ghost Fire scroll that she learned that spell from.
Right.
And he's the originator of the Ghost Fire.
Yes.
So, and that's ultimately, the Ghost Fire is ultimately what unsealed the Eldrazi on Zendikar.
Yep.
So it all kind of connected. I thought that was really cool, just for 1 second.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't want to say that I know much more about that plane, but I know that that's where she was. I know that's where she stole it from. Is Kefali. So that was really cool.
Yeah. Also found neat that we learned that Ugin's a spirit dragon because he basically died in the meditation realm or plane.
Yeah. Which that's the meditation realm is really very weird.
Yeah.
We just
it is.
I don't know if we'll ever know the whole deal on it. And it kind of seemed like
we learned that Ugin was there forever, contemplating and vice versa, and basically meditating, and then so was Bolas.
Yeah.
And we also learned that their stories do overlap in that Bolas came to the meditation plane and just attacked Ugin.
Yeah.
But Ugin paints it that it was
vice
Bolas
versa.
was
Yeah, of course. And of course they're going to say that. At the very end of the story, a passage that I really like, and this is something that I think is particularly good, particularly notable for us, because this is something that we've talked about a bunch. But there's a line that says, "You lied to him," Navia added. "What if his story is the true one? And Ugin's story, the lie, meant to manipulate us into saving his essence from Bolas's revenge? We will never know," says Yusefa. And that's a good point. This is something that you and I have talked about a lot.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I like that I feel like the fact that that is brought up in the narrative means that we're not wholly wrong, right?
Yeah, that we're on
to something. Yeah, we're on to something.
Ugin, we end up in Ugin. Yeah, he's definitely pulling some strings too. So.
He is, yeah. And he even says, like, he can't fight Bolas with power, so he has to fight him with cunning and trickery. And that's not something that Ugin I would think, would self-describe to other people as being in his repertoire. Like, he's not someone that's trying to trick people, but he also even, like, specifically says that that's what he had to do.
Right, but we also know that he does do that. He definitely took to Zord thinking he's his friend. But
yeah, no question. And did the same and honestly did the same with Jace.
Yeah. So,
but that, I liked the line where when Ugin is, after he's been dead, and I'm putting air quotes around dead, and he kind of comes back to life, he asks himself, am I flesh and bone or spirit and magic? Does it matter? Does it matter? Probably not.
I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't know.
It's kind of just
definitely spirit magic though.
Yeah. He's the spirit dragon after all.
He is spirit dragon after all.
But he also has bones because his bones are on Tarkir. So
it's very true.
I don't know. Maybe it's a little everything. A little column A, a little column
I'm
B.
surprised that after he was revived as this quote unquote spirit dragon, when Bolas attacked him on Tarkir, how do you not notice that your brother looks different, like looks like a spirit instead of like a.
I don't know.
Dragon?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like, how does that not stand out?
Well, we haven't gotten that story from Bolas' perspective, right?
Or Ugin's perspective, really.
We did a little bit with this story.
Yeah, but Ugin didn't like say Bolas was surprised that I was a spirit dragon or because he threw me or whatever have you.
Yeah.
Because like I imagine if I fought my brother or whoever, defeated them, and they came back as a spirit or a ghost, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, yo, WTF? Are you
like hey,
can I kill you now or not?
You're looking awfully pale, Ugin.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that's something I would have definitely talked about.
Yeah, you would think. You'd think he would notice. You'd think he would notice his twin brother looks like a ghost now.
Yeah, Casper.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple of other things. So I complained last week of the way that they painted Bolas in the story. Like that he was very, I guess, kind of stupid and just very arrogant. Yeah. And they did the same thing this time in this story, but I think it made sense because it was clear that he still had like a that it was just arrogance, that he basically was capable of doing everything he wanted to do, but he did not believe he thinks humans are crap and that they can't do anything. He doesn't respect them or fear them in any way.
No.
So even though Bolas was like defeated, I'm putting air quotes around defeated in this story, it was more from like a mental level. And I think this is like one of the things that like serves as a lesson for Bolas. Because now, like, as we said, we mistakenly said that this a couple of episodes ago that this didn't take place far in the past. And we know it's like 1,200 years in the past, essentially, now.
Yes.
And I think this type of scenario is something that Bolas would not do now. Like he's not taking people as granted as much, and like basically assuming that they're just worthless. Like he actually respects the power of people now.
Maybe it's just under Bolas. Yeah, well, we know he respects power because like he's definitely cultivating people to serve him, like Tezzeret and Liliana. Like he didn't have to, but he definitely can use people more.
Yep, absolutely. And then not the last thing, but the thing that on that note that Bolas is scared of is not that he's not scared of anyone, but he's scared that he might not be the best at something, and that force drives him. That's the single constant thing through this week's story and last week's story, that whether we heard it from Ugin's side or whether we heard it from Bolas' side, either way, it's clear that Bolas hates the fact that someone might be better than him at something that he cares about.
Yeah, he also wants to be like first.
He wants to be first. It's because he was not the first dragon noticeable. And that's eaten away at him since his birth. And he's literally had a chip on his shoulder his whole life, just trying to prove that he's the best, he's the first, that he's the most powerful. At whatever he chooses to be. Doesn't even matter what it is. It could be something that moments ago was irrelevant, but now that's something that he cares about and he has to be the best, and it eats at him that there might be another being out there that's better than him at something.
Yeah, he has basically a Napoleon complex.
And this is what and I feel like this is going to be a central theme when we go to Ravnica with Jace.
Yeah.
Because he knew that he respected Jace's power, but knew he was more powerful. But now Jace returning from Ixalan knew the new old Jace we know is extremely powerful, and I think Bolas, you're going to see Bolas be a little off kilter when he encounters Jace again from a power level perspective, and it's going to eat at him again
because he might be the better mind mage,
exactly,
or something,
and Bolas will hate that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, though. So the last thing is, so Yusova says something incorrect. Now she doesn't know that it's incorrect, and it's not necessarily fair to say this, but she said when Navia says, I thought this was the only way, and then as far as like letting like Bolas kill her, and she's like, well, Bolas tricked me once before. He told me that if I trusted him and helped him, that all the dragons would go away. And they didn't, so you can't trust him. Right?
Yeah.
But that's not true. But we know that's not true, just she doesn't know that's not true.
Yeah. Because
they all did go away. Because in the Khans of Tarkir timeline, when Ugin just died and he didn't get trapped in Hedrons and revived by Sarkhan, all the dragons did go away. Specifically.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Surrak, Dragonclaw, became the Khan of the Temur clan.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually did not lie to Yusova. He was right. Once that happened, the Dragon's Tempest stopped, and then the dragons eventually died out. Only because of Sarkhan's intervention in that did that not happen. So yes. I want to give Bolas a little bit of credit for being honest.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, like we said, he might be conniving, but he doesn't always lie. Sometimes he's like, look, if you help me, this is just going to happen. And it does.
This is basically a reward.
Yeah.
Except in case of Bantu, but yeah.
I'd say all the time.
Yeah, but he just took a...
Yeah, he took a giant poop on Bantu, yeah. We didn't... Did he tell Bantu that she was not going to be killed, specifically?
No, he just said...
He just said, help me, and...
Help me, I'll keep you alive, or whatever.
He didn't specify. He didn't specify,
yeah.
I feel like she didn't read the fine print. She didn't read the fine print of that contract.
Neither her or Liliana.
I know, people are really not reading that fine print.
Yeah, especially the Black Planeswalkers and the Black Gods.
Yeah, gotta read that fine print. It's important.
Yeah. Very important.
Okay. Shout out to Kate Elliott, who is the author of all of these stories. She's great. I was wholly impressed. Now that we're going on to Ravnica story, I hope we get more stories like this, and do not return to the Dominaria form of storytelling.
I agree.
Yeah. But hats off to her. She did a phenomenal job. Kept it short and sweet. 8 episodes. I think they were all pretty great. I was engaged from episode 1 through the very end. She did a beautiful job with the story, the story in the past, and then the story in the present time of that story anyway, with obviously the difference between the two twins on Tarkir and then the twins of Bolas and on Ugin. And it's just great. It's a great story. If you just listen to this podcast and you're kind of just listening to us talk about it, I absolutely suggest that you go back and read it. It probably only takes you an hour and a half to read the whole thing.
longer than that. I think each section takes like 20 minutes. At least 20 times 8. Like 2 hours, 3 hours.
I think you get it. I think, you know what? But I think our listeners are the smartest people that I've ever met. So they can read faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Excuse me.
I know. I know. You didn't mean it.
I apologize.
That's okay.
I apologize.
Okay. This is last shot. Anything else on the Chronicle of Bolas?
Nope.
All right.
Letting go.
All right. We loved you. We loved you, Chronicle of Bolas. Thank you for being such a great story. Okay, we have one last segment. I'm really excited for this one.
Yep.
I'm so excited. All right, Ali and I watched a beautiful movie that we both loved very much. Over this past week, we saw The Meg. We'll be back in just a moment.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, my lover stands on golden sand.
Donna. How's John? Is that right with Joss' name?
Yeah, but this isn't the Jaws.
Donna.
This isn't
It's Meg.
No, it's
Donna.
Oh my god! You just don't get it, do you? You just don't. You just don't get this movie, do you?
I don't think anyone gets this movie, honestly.
So, when I saw this movie pop up at the beginning of the year, when I was going through movies that we were going to talk about on the podcast, I watched the trailer, and I knew.
You were sold?
I was sold.
Oh, my God.
This is one of the only movies that I've seen this entire year that showed me in the preview what the movie was, and my expectations were met exactly.
Okay.
And I don't think you can say any different, Ali.
I mean, I was literally expecting nothing. So
I was expecting
a giant shark,
and Jason Statham.
Like that. Well, that's what we got.
And it delivered. It absolutely delivered. The Meg delivers on all of the promises it's ever made.
I was hoping the Meg would be just Meg from Family Guy, her head on a shark body. That's all I wanted.
You didn't get that. Instead, you just got a shark on a shark body.
I know. A big shark.
Yeah. Big shark, for sure. This is no spoilers for now, by the way. That being said, this is not a spoilable movie. No. You're getting Jason Statham. You're getting a giant shark. You're getting Jason Statham and a giant shark. That's what you're getting. Those are the two things that you're getting. There's some other stuff in there too. There's scenes that don't have either of them in it. But the best scenes have them in it, for sure.
The acting was god-awful, but it was so bad that it was just, like, funny.
They did, but see, this movie did not take itself too seriously. Like, it knew what it was. Which is why I appreciated that. Like, it's not, I'm serious. Like, this is not a movie that's like, that thought it was, like, that this is, like, super serious, in my opinion.
But it got so silly that I was like, man, this movie could really use a tornado. Like
no.
I just want this to be a Sharknado.
No, I completely disagree. See, I think that movie is like way over the top, and this was like just right at the moment of, or right at the line of, just like over the top, but not like stupid ridiculous. And see, I think like Sharknado and like Snakes on a Plane is like stupid ridiculous. So this was like right at the perfect line for me.
I don't know. Whatever. This movie like had some laughs, but it's not one I would recommend.
So okay, so I have a lot more to say, but yeah, why don't we go ahead and get to that? So on a scale of 1 to 5.
2.
2. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think the fun level of this movie is a 5, but the actual movie level. Hey, shut up.
All right.
The actual movie level of this movie is 2. This is not a good movie. Now, just because it was fun doesn't mean that it's good. I don't believe anyone should pay money for this movie. Okay? If you're able to see this movie at some point in time, without paying money, you should do so.
Yeah.
But please don't encourage a studio to make more movies like this. It's fine that it exists. I had fun with it. Ollie did too. He loved it. From a fun standpoint, we all had fun with it. We all had a great time, but it's not good.
I went with Joe. I was in Orlando. I went with Joe and his girlfriend to watch this movie.
Yeah, what did they think?
And I think Joe liked it.
Yeah, because it's like it's ridiculous. Like it's not asking much of you. It's not being like, okay, you don't need to believe this. Just watch it. Just turn off your brain and just let it happen.
It did happen. A lot of stuff did happen.
You knew that the game was on.
I'll tell you what. Like, I was more interested in my popcorn. I was eating popcorn here than I was in the next movie. Ugh. The popcorn was so good though, because I'm low carbing, so I was like, man, this popcorn's really good.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I'm sure the popcorn was delicious.
It was. I put my butt on it.
How did you not enjoy Jason Statham? Just look. Okay, look.
There were two scenes I liked. But I'll get that with the spoilers.
Okay, sure.
That's it.
I think there was one legitimately great scene in the movie. Okay. I'm sure it's one of the scenes because it was actually a good scene. Okay. We'll talk about that in spoilers. The plot is a mess.
Yeah.
Like
it's a disaster.
It is just all over the place. Like, it's super ridiculous. They mostly make up stuff on the spot for reasons for things, which is fine. It's like, whatever. They don't really care that much. So you shouldn't care that much. At least I do appreciate that where they started with the plot was based in like at least conceptual reality.
Sure.
Like, it's like, okay, so this is non-spoiler because it happens like literally 3 seconds into the movie. That there's like a floor, like an ocean floor below the current ocean floor, and the current ocean floor in that's like the Mariana Trench. I'm probably saying that wrong. Let me the Mariana Trench is actually like a freezing cold like mist. So life is not able to go through it because they would die basically. And then you can go below that and there's going to be more life down there. So that's like, okay, that's probably not the case, but at least you're like you've set up a good reason. And then of course everything all hell breaks loose when that happens. But I mean, like I said, you're getting exactly what you signed up for with this movie.
Yeah.
If anyone has watched the trailer, that's exactly what the movie is.
Yes. Yeah.
Has a lot of it has a lot of cliches. Like,
I think maybe not rated R actually heard it because they probably could have like made some. Yeah.
Why?
Because they could have made some more funny or funnier.
Why?
Because of just seeing things fly or body parts or whatever.
I mean, like, I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine as is. I don't think it needed to be rated R.
No, I just think this movie like should just went over the top. Like it was trying to get, it was like over the top a little bit, but it should go all the way.
I think it was the perfect amount of over the top. I think it was the perfect amount of over the top.
It was too much for me, but it's each their own.
There's a scene where, of course, in the name of the movie is The Meg, which Jason Statham says the words "the Meg" no less than like 27 times in the movie.
The Meg-a-lodon. It's a dinosaur shark.
He goes. This is the first moment. He goes, "Oh my God, it's the Meg-a-lodon." Just like that. I'm sure. Thank you. Was that good? Do you like my Jason Statham? He's got a couple of good lines. He's got a couple of good lines in this movie. One of my other favorite ones that he goes is when they're trying to recruit him, and again, this is not really spoilers because it doesn't matter. When they're trying to recruit him.
Well, why don't you go spoilers just in case?
All right, yeah, sure, whatever. It doesn't matter. All right. Spoiler warning, spoiler warning, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, spoiler warning. Okay, we're in spoilers now.
Okay.
So when they're going back to recruit him, right? And this is also in the very beginning of the movie. And they're going into his house, and he goes, "You're gonna try to tell me your story, and I'm gonna say no. You're gonna try to offer me money, and I'm gonna say no. You're gonna try to appeal to my better nature, and I'm still gonna say no, because I don't have one." And that's just like the most Jason Statham thing ever. It's great.
And then he said yes.
And then he says, yeah. You know why? Because, of course, it's like, but Jason Statham, your ex-wife is down there. Oh, no. Not my ex-wife. It's the only thing you could have said that would have made me go on this death-defying mission.
Oh my
you
God.
know I don't dive anymore. So, I mean, he doesn't say that, but he might as well.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's every movie cliche they could have added in to this movie. Like, of course, it's his ex-wife. He has a new love interest that they're kind of, but it doesn't really. I don't understand why.
Yeah,
just because
because he's fit. That's why. Because she sees him with his coming out of the shower. It's like, oh,
now I'm physically attracted to you. Therefore, the rest of the plot of this movie will be driven around this fact.
That's literally what it was.
And it's not even.
I like how they're kind of honest though. You know, it's kind of honest. Like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
She went back for like 3 or 4 looks. It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, he's a man in good shape. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. You know, of course, they have you're an old, crazy veteran because you're crazy because you saw something that no one else believed in. You're crazy. I'm not crazy. Yeah. I'm Jason Statham.
Yeah. Okay, so my favorite scene, I'm going to go with the first.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Have at it.
2 of my favorite scenes. The very end, where he literally pokes the shark in the eye.
He's punching the shark. It's him. That's him punching the shark.
No.
He doesn't do it with his fist, but that's like the equivalent of him punching the shark.
Okay, well, he pokes it in the eye with the spear.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the shark's like, all right, I'm going to do a dolphin move or whatever, jump high in the air.
Thousands of feet in the air.
Yeah. It jumps super, super high, obviously carrying Jason with it. And all of a sudden, we start watching Gladiator. Because he takes that spear, he like jams it all the way inside. He like spins and like it's very Gladiator-esque. Imagine Gladiator jumping in the air, like throwing a spear with one hand. Like you can see it, like you can see it. I'm doing the motion with my hands now.
Yes, I can envision it.
Yeah, but this is what he's doing. He's just like throwing the spear all like in its head, and it's super Gladiator-like, and it's just like, all right, that's kind of cool. And they go back down. Of course, it's still not dead, but yeah, that was one of the coolest scenes. My second coolest I'll get to later, but that was a fun one.
I loved the scene. Okay, so
he guts it from head to toe, head to tail, and it's still not dead. Then
which is ridiculous.
He takes his spear and puts it like in its brain.
Yeah,
still not dead. Like come on, dude. Whatever, it's
Ali
Meg.
though. It's the Meg-a-lodon.
I know.
Yeah, it's not. If that was just a regular shark, then it'd be dead.
It'd be dead. Yeah.
So that's the only twist is that there's not one, but there's 2 sharks.
Plot twist.
Now, to be fair, I did not see that coming. I did not think. I thought that shark was just going to be not dead, right? Like that's the obvious thing. Like they're like, oh, put your head in it for the picture, and then you think it's just going to bite the guy's head off, right?
Yeah. That's what I thought.
And then this gigantic other shark comes up, eats that guy, and then eats the first Meg.
Yeah, because it smells the blood.
Yeah.
Blood.
Yeah. So that was. I actually thought that scene, like that whole scene before that part, like when they're on the boat and like trying to figure out how to poison it. I thought that scene was pretty good. It was exciting. It was well shot. It's obviously has some suspense, even though these are the worst people. Their job is literally to be on a boat in the ocean. And to be fair, Rainn Wilson's character does say this to, of course, the only black guy, and he can't swim, which they also point out. It's not a race thing. I just can't swim. He's like, your job is to be on the ocean. How can you not swim? And all these people, it wasn't part of his job description.
Yeah,
okay? Of course. Like, how are all these people around water so much, and they're just not paying attention to things that could knock them into the water? Just everyone gets knocked in the water on a regular basis. Like every moment this movie has, they're like, we got to get these people into the water. Got to create some danger. They're not in danger if they're on the boat. Got to get them in the water. So they figure out literal just random ways. Throw a helicopter at them. Get them in the water. Whatever.
All right, you know the real hero was the whole movie.
Who's
Pippin?
Pippin. I was sad when I thought that Pippin died.
Oh my god! You ruined my wedding, Pippin. He's like, he's a little Yorkie, just like paddling with his tail. Yeah. He's like going out, sees a shark, and he about face. Does a complete 180. He's like, all right, I'm coming back.
Yeah. Pippin was pretty cute. I like Pippin.
Yeah.
I feel like the shark, every single scene, whichever shark it was, literally every single time you saw it, it was a different size. It was whatever size they needed to make the thing that it was like fighting against look small.
Sure.
Like when they had it on the boat, it wasn't even that big. Like it was big,
but
it wasn't that big, and
it wasn't like a dinosaur.
Yeah, and they made it seem in like in the
Also, dude, nothing would have drowned in shallow water. Okay, it was like in shallow water with all those people. It was like eating them and like popping bubbles. Like, dude, if you were there, you're not. If you're that big, you're stranded. That's it. You're done. Okay, you're beached. You're beached. Shark whale.
See, maybe that's the thing, that it could change sizes.
Its size.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, but seriously, because like the first one, it's like when they had that whole thing about like that super plexiglass plastic, like that you can't break. He was like, they were like, the plastic will break, and they're like, it's eating it. It's eating the whole thing that I'm in. But then when they got it on the boat, it literally is like. It could not fit the thing in his mouth. There's just no way. So it's just like significantly smaller. And then when the first time they see it, when it like puts its teeth marks on the side of the Mana one, it's gigantic. It's huge.
Yeah, it would have eaten the whole thing on by it.
Yeah, it's just
like I said. Okay, this cage is unbreakable. It's unshatterable. You can't stop it. Well, I'm the Meg, so I'm just gonna eat it.
Yeah,
I'm going to devour this whole gosh darn cage. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. I mean, everything is ridiculous. The most ridiculous thing in the whole movie is they just leave Rainn Wilson. The dude is a billionaire. They make sure to tell you multiple times in the movie that he's like funding this whole thing, and they just leave him. They're just like, oh, where'd he go? I guess he's gone. I don't know what happened. Whatever. Don't you think if a billionaire just randomly vanished that people would take notice?
Nah.
Nope. Just
not in this movie.
Just leaving him. The worst part was for sure the very end, the third act, when it like got into the beach area. That was awful. That was terrible. That was just.
I'm not sure why those people. Yeah, I should have just killed all of them, but it killed them.
I wish he did. I wish he just killed all those people. There's too many. There's too many people. Too many people on the beach.
Yeah.
How are those people having fun? How's people having fun? There's literally you have
so many people.
You have 4 square feet of space in the ocean.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. But that one kid really liked his ice cream.
He did really like that. He was only concerned about that.
Yeah. I'm gonna die. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna go back to eating this.
I'm good now. And also, he was like his mom. He was like, "Don't go too far out," and he goes as far out as he possibly can. He was like,
"Well, yeah, he's a spoiled, stubborn, you know."
How did that small group of people just decide to not move? They were just like, "Nope, we're not moving. We're not swimming back to shore like everyone else. This is a great place. We've all 35 of us. We've decided this is where we're gonna stay."
Maybe the Meg has mind control like Bolas.
Maybe
it's like, you know, it's probably what it was.
Maybe.
Has to be.
I mean, that could be it. The Meg.
Yeah.
The Meg has
size that will
crazy powers. Another Jason Statham line when he was like, when his love interest was like, we have to explore non-lethal options, and he's like, non-lethal for us, or the Meg.
Dude, it's so cheesy. Oh god, it's ridiculous. But yes, everything was just so bad. But it was yeah.
He loved. That was just saying.
Oh,
just saying the Meg was his favorite thing. Man versus the Meg isn't a fight. It's a slaughter.
Whatever.
Dude, it's great. He had all the best lines.
I'm over it.
How are you over it? This movie, we both had a lot of fun with it. It's great. We already said, watch it. Just don't pay for it. Figure out a way. Not right now if you don't have to. I'm not encouraging anyone to steal. However, if you happen upon this movie in a way that you don't have to pay money for, yeah, give it a watch. It's okay. So it's honest about what it is. It's not long. It's not a long movie. This is like right at an hour and a half. So you're not like, if this was 2.5 hours, I would be giving this a scathing, terrible review, but I'm not. The fact that do you not agree? The fact that it was like not that long, is a positive.
Yeah, I guess.
You hate everything,
dude. These movies I'm sorry.
You hate everything.
I'm sorry.
You liked Jurassic Park, and you hated this, and these two movies are not that different.
Oh my god, Jurassic Park was a lot better than this. At least
I don't agree. I don't agree that Jurassic Park was better than this. I think they're about the same.
All right, we can agree to disagree.
We will. You guys should let us know at JParnell1, at Ali Aintrazi on Twitter that the Meg was great. Just tell us. Just tell Ali that the Meg was great.
Please someone stop. Put Justin in his place. Tell him this movie was awful. Please.
I said it wasn't good. I gave it a 2.
I don't care. Someone tell me it wasn't funny there.
It was fun. You had a lot of fun with it. You really liked it.
Come on,
you were
guys.
telling me off air. You're like, gosh, I really got to work myself up to hate this movie because I just liked it so much. But it's totally true. We'll find that footage and I'll get Director Choi to put it in.
Oh god.
Okay. All right. I think it's enough. I think that's enough of the Meg. Go watch it. Go watch the Meg if you can. I encourage everybody. Don't pay for it, but if you can watch it.
Just watch something else.
All right. We're gonna take a quick break and when we return, question of the week. All right, Ollie. If you thought I was done,
all right, Justin.
If you thought I was done with the Meg,
oh my god,
you're wrong.
Really? You're still not done?
We're never done with the Meg. The Meg decides when it's done with you.
Oh my god! What more could you possibly?
Question of the week. Question of the week.
Oh my god!
Are you ready?
Is it about the Meg?
Well, and half of it is. All right, Ollie. This is the official Thinktwice question of the week for episode 57. What would get you more excited? And these are both theoretical things that could happen in the future, but are not guaranteed to happen. Okay?
Okay.
What would get you more excited? A non-standard modern legal set or Jason Statham punching a shark on real live TV?
Oh my god, please stop.
That's the question of the week.
The modern
oh my,
thing.
You're so wrong.
Non-standard, easy. I don't care about. I see enough Jason Tatum and Meg and sharks.
No,
give me something that's more appealing.
You absolutely have not. Are you telling me you would rather just have this one random magic set than seeing Jason Statham punching a real shark, a live shark on TV, on YouTube? I guess TV, does TV even exist anymore? Do people would have TV?
I don't know. Probably not.
On YouTube,
1,000%, yes.
on someone on live stream Facebook Whatever thing is.
Live stream.
You know the thing I'm talking about. The thing where it's live. You know that it's live. Jason Statham punches a shark in the face. A real one.
Yes.
You would rather have just a random magic set than that?
Easy.
Get out of here.
No, get out of here. You crazy Jason Tatum secret lover.
First of all, Jason Tatum is a basketball player. Jason Statham is a Did you know that Jason Statham used to be a professional diver in real life?
No.
Meredith told me that. I didn't believe her either, but he actually was. I looked it up.
Wow.
Yeah, for real. No, for real. Like I'm not even joking. He actually used to be.
I mean, I believe you. It's just.
Yeah, he actually used to be a diver.
I'm just.
I know you're astounded. So you're changing your answer.
Yeah, but still set.
So what? You're not. You are changing it. You're not. You are.
I am not.
You are changing it. Not which one?
The set. Look at enough with the Meg. Down with the Meg.
We both had fun with it. You're just
down.
Look.
With the Meg.
You're really telling me you don't want to see Jason Statham punching a live shark in the face? You told me that was the best part of the movie when he virtually pretty much punched it.
He didn't punch it.
But exactly. But if he did, that would have been even better.
Oh my god! Give me the season magic set. That's not vote.
Fine. You guys should let us know. Let us know that Ali is wrong. Let us know on Twitter at Ali Aintrazi on Twitter, at JParnell1 on Twitter, Thinktwice MTG on Twitter. Ali, where else can people find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Ali Aintrazi. The Twitter's obviously that we just said, and I write for cool stuff.
Oh my gosh, they changed the name. Oh my gosh, I have it wrong on here on the show notes.
Oh my god.
What is it? What's the name now? Cool stuff. Inc. INC.
Yeah, it's at Gathering Magic and cool stuff. Marco's gonna go every Friday. Today I talk about how playing 8 Fogs is not today. I guess depends when watching this. But this weekend I talk about how playing 8 Fogs is wrong and you should not do that.
Don't do it.
And I give you a new list.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't turn around. The Meg is behind you. Go vote for the new set of Modern.
And Jason Statham punching sharks. You can find me on StarCityGames.com and YouTube. I'm the host of the Commanderverse series. We are entering the Coliseum of Randomness, which is everyone's favorite time of the season. So we played Pauper randomly this week. What will we play next week? We actually won't play anything because, unfortunately, there's not going to be an episode next week. There's a serious family issue that came up from one of our cast members. I'm actually not joking. I'm just trying to throw this in there. And that's actually going to be the case. So there won't be an episode next week, but we'll return strong after that. If you want to contact the show, you can do so. ThinkTwiceMTG on Twitter or ThinkTwiceMTG@gmail.com. If you would like to send us a more personalized message, Gmail is the way to do it. You can also find the show on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, and Google Play Music, and of course any other platforms you would like to hear it on. If you're listening on one that you'd rather be listening on a different one, tell us what it is. We'd really love it. We'd also love if you were to leave a comment on one of those platforms or leave us a 5-star review. You would be the sweetest heart of all the sweethearts.
Please
do
help us out.
Please do so. You can also find us on patreon.com. At the top of the show, we outlined the changes that we're making on patreon.com/ThinkTwiceMTG. You can now get tokens at the $1 Augur Bolas tier, foil tokens, $15 Courser of Crufix tier, and now you only need 2 instances of support to have us play one of your decks live on MTG Arena. It's an excellent way to contribute. Seriously, the $1 tier is now an even better value than it already was. You already got access to the Discord channel where we talk about decks and animals and such things. And you get early access to the show. Now you get a set of our Ali and Justin tokens. Excuse me, I hiccuped in the middle of that.
It's okay. I forgive you.
Thank you. We also have, we want to give a shout out to Jeff M., our newest disciple of Bolas, patron, supporter. Thank you, Jeff, very, very much. Ali, I believe it is your turn to name the distinguished Shark of the Week.
Oh my god!
And you're choosing the Meg.
Of the week.
And you're choosing the Meg. I can't believe it. I can't believe that you would choose the Meg.
I'm gonna kill you. That's it. You're dead. You're dead. All right. So, animal of the week is from Raggy. This dog is adorable. is named Freddy, and please share this animal on for us to share on Thinktwice. This dog is so adorable. He has one blue eye and one brown eye, and he just super. His mouth is always open. He's always smiling. Super photogenic.
I feel like Freddy realizes how adorable he is, and he constantly uses it to his advantage. Do you think?
Probably.
Do you think that is the case?
I think he just looks like it's one of those like people or dogs like so adorable. You could put them in any costume. They could poop on the floor, whatever. And you're just like, I can't hate you because you're just that good looking. You're that good looking. Like he is #blessed. So.
#blessed. He's got the city's blessing for sure.
He's always a city's blessing.
All right, no doubt. We want to give a shout out to our graphic designer Amber West. You can find her work at amberwestdesign.com, and of course our director and producer John Choi, who's behind the curtain every week. Put in that terrible theme music for Question of the Week, most likely. I haven't listened to it, but I bet it's bad. We also want to give a shout out to our Agent of Bolas producers, Daniel Hunt, Matt Lindell, and Liam Whelan. Thank you guys very much. We could not possibly do the show without you. And Ali, as usual, I want to thank Jason Statham and the Meg.
Yeah, I knew it. Okay, I knew it. Just shut up.
What? They literally made the show possible this week. So I want to give a personal thank you to them, and Ali, you did okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. That's the show for this week, guys. We love you very much. Ali, I love you too for putting up with me.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.